We're going to go over separating mixtures right now. Okay, so just to review, most matter occurs as mixtures. So again, that's a physical combination of two or more substances. So what are the two types of mixtures? Do you remember? Okay, well the first one type is a homogeneous mixture, which again, another term that we use for homogeneous mixture is called solution. Solutions can be in liquid form, such as lemonade, but solutions can also be solid, liquid, and gases. So again, homogeneous mixtures and solutions, they look the same throughout. A homogeneous mixture of two metals is called an alloy, so for example, brass. There's also a heterogeneous mixture, which is a mixture that does not look the same throughout, it looks different throughout. So you can see distinct different parts in a heterogeneous mixture. Okay, so separating mixtures, because of the substances in a mixture are physically combined, you can separate them based on physical properties of the substance. So for example, let's say you had a mixture of iron and sand. How would you separate iron from sand based on their differences in physical properties? So if you know that iron is magnetic, that's a physical property of iron, then you can use a magnet to attract the iron out of the mixture, but the sand will be left behind. So you're manipulating the physical property of magnetism to separate iron from sand or sulfur. In this case, the picture says sulfur. Okay, so one separation technique, heterogeneous mixtures of solids and liquids are easily separated by filtration. This is just based on particle size. So filtration is a technique that uses a porous barrier, like filter paper, to separate a liquid from a solid. So how it works, the mixture is poured in a funnel that's lined with filter paper, and the liquid passes through the filter paper because it can go through the pores of the filter paper, but the solid is trapped in the filter paper because it's too big to fit through the pores of the filter paper. So here's a picture of filtration, just using the stirring rod to kind of help the mixture get into the funnel and not just kind of go on the side of the beaker. So here that whatever orange solid gets left behind in the filter paper that's in the funnel, and then what we can assume maybe is water, or also known as the filtrate, goes through the filter paper into the Erlenmeyer flask there. Okay, another separation technique is called distillation. So most homogeneous mixtures can be separated by distillation. This is a technique that is based on the differences in boiling point of the substances in the mixture. How it works, a mixture is heated until the substance with the lowest boiling point boils to a vapor that can be condensed into a liquid and then collected. So this is actually how alcohol is produced. So if you've ever heard of a distillery, that's because they use distillation. So in the chem lab, this is kind of what the distillation apparatus looks like. So let's say this impure liquid, let's say it's a mixture of water and alcohol, which we wouldn't be doing this in our chem lab, but this is what a distillery would kind of, on a big scale, would be doing. So let's say you have water and alcohol, okay? So you heat it up, and the substance that has the higher or the lower boiling point is going to boil first, and it'll start to vaporize, and it goes through this condensation tube. So there's two layers. There's the inner tube where your gas, the vapor, is collecting, and then outside, the outer layer is where cool water comes in. So you have one hose connects to a faucet, it's coming in this way, and then it leaves this outer tube. So that cools down the gas vapor that's in here, and so that condenses that gas vapor and it collects here. So now you would have your two different liquids by the end. You'd have the one liquid left behind here that has the higher boiling point that didn't boil off yet, and then you have the liquid that boiled off first and condensed into here. All right, another technique we won't be doing in lab, but is crystallization. So actually, if you've ever made rock candy, this is a form of crystallization. So crystallization is a technique that results in the formation of pure solid particles of a substance, or crystals, from a solution containing a dissolved substance. So how it works, like for rock candy, as water evaporates from the water sugar solution, the sugar crystals form on the string. So you form this supersaturated solution in the cup. There's like a really high concentrate of sugar water, very a very high molarity, we would say, a very high concentrate of sugar to water, and then you add a little more sugar on the string, and that causes the sugar from the solution to collect onto that string. So the sugar that's forming here is coming from this sugar water solution. All right, the next technique is called chromatography. So this separates pigments. So like, for example, black ink is actually made of different colors, and you can actually separate those different colors out by this technique called chromatography. So this is a technique that separates different parts of a mixture based on their ability of each substance to travel across the paper, or how well it sticks to paper. You can separate pigments in like a leaf by doing this, in different like in Kool-Aid, and in like different colors of pen. So how it works, the separation happens because each part of the mixture spreads through the paper at different rates. So for example, here's a picture of chromatography. You put different dots of, let's say, like different pen colors down on this pencil line, and this is chromatography paper. You put the chromatography paper just standing in a little bit of water, and the water travels up the paper, and as the water travels up the paper, it drags the pen pigment, or whatever pigment you're using, up the paper. And so now we start seeing these different colors, like a little pinkish here, maybe yellow orangish, bluish. Here's just kind of a lot of blue and maybe a lighter blue, yellow and some blue, yellow, pink, maybe kind of an orangish yellow, and so forth. So this was one color, but these were all mixed together to make one color. So what we can see here is that this yellow color has a strong affinity to paper. It sticks to the paper more because it's not traveling as far up, while this bluer color has a lower affinity, or affinity means to like something. So it has a lower affinity. It doesn't stick as well to the paper as this yellow down here. So that's one way it gets separated within the mixture of pigments. So how well these pigments stick to the paper and travel up the paper with water. Okay, that is it. Thank you.